K, linebacker with the Indianapolis Colts. Make sure you follow my guys at the Anvil, best sports talk podcast going on with Colts right now. Tune in.
It seems like a Sunday, like anyone before. That's what you think. So you open up the door, you feel the buzz, you can hear the people singing battle cries. Lucas Oil Stadium's about to come alive. Blue and white jerseys, some old and some new, all gather round South Capitol Avenue. They come for the tailgate, some drive and some buy. Colts fans show up with fire in their eyes, yelling, "Go Host, go Big Blue!" We're in the stands, the tried and true, here to watch this football sensation. Come on, let's go, Colts Nation, the Colts Nation. We take this very serious, it is not a joke. We're back, all the players, we're back in it, coach. We scream and we root, we raise up our fists to support this team from Indianapolis. Go Host, go Big Blue, we're in the stands cheering for you, here to watch this football sensation. Come on, let's go, Colts Nation, the Colts Nation, Colts Nation. Screaming, go Host, go Big Blue, we're in the stands, the tried and true, here to watch this football sensation. Come on, let's go, Colts Nation, yeah, Colts Nation, that Colts Nation. Come on, let's go, Colts Nation.
You gonna play it?
I'm trying to find it. Dadgum, there it is.
Just want him to be.
Oh,
better.
you didn't know? Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to the best sports show ever. This is the Anvil Show. Sorry I'm not there, but let me introduce you to some of my good friends. We got Big P, Cloud the Voice, Big Country, Chase Vader, and Thomas Frost. This is the Anvil Show. Now bang that bitch.
And while we have you, please look below, like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, like us on Twitter, as well as Instagram. Welcome back-to-back nights. Last night we had a special with Mr. Zach Kiefer that was fire. And tonight we're going to come to you with a show. We're going to talk more league. We have not forgot about all you other fans. But let me welcome my boys, Big P, Country. Good to have you too.
What's up, brothers?
Going on.
Still riding a high, man. I mean, yesterday was Zach Kiefer, Chris Ballard a couple months ago, bro. Like it's just pouring in, man. So it's just good. It's a good time to be part of the Anvil.
Well, if you look at it, you don't get better than them two as far as getting information from the organization.
Facts.
The GM and probably the number one Colts insider of all of Colts Nation.
Facts. Big
And
facts.
we've had both of them on the show spitting out truth about all kinds of stuff.
Indeed, man. Indeed. Yeah, we got a pretty decent show tonight. I don't think we should waste no time. We got to get back to our measurement count too. Like I feel like I just been letting everybody just talk. I'm gonna start being a dictator again. Okay.
So I mean, just being a dick.
Oh,
Got the first one in, baby. Now I can relax and
Yep.
enjoy the show.
And with that,
Bullshit.
He had to get his daddy in there at least one time this show.
You know it.
Shit. Let's fly around the league, man. Let's start with the Watson latest.
Hold on.
So-
I got something special for you guys.
You got something special.
Yes.
All right, well, let me pause that. Tell me what you got.
Is tonight the night?
No. Well, we got the giveaway for the posters tonight too. Don't forget to put that in there. But anyways, at training camp, did you see the video of Kenny Moore picking up some kid's phone and talking to his parents? Because the parents called to check on the kid, and Kenny answered it, and he started talking to. Well, a friend of ours from the show, or that's been on the show a couple of times, Colt superfan Brian Myers actually took that video and he posted it on Twitter. I'm like, dude, you got to send that to me. So I got it edited and I got it on the stream. If you guys want to watch it,
Let's do it.
You did it? All right.
Yeah.
He's probably so confused.
What's up? He's right here by me playing a video game. This is Kenny. Yeah. I'm good. You? Yeah, he's behaving. We're about to take a picture. You need to speak to him? Living his best life. Yes, sir. Take care.
That's awesome, dude.
Now, how friggin' cool was that of Kenny to do that?
That's pretty dope.
There's no one better that was more deserving of the Walter Payton Man of the Year award for the organization than him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that just made my heart happy. You know what I mean? And I had to play that because I love that kind of personality from our players.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
And Brian Myers out there, thank you, sir. Big thumbs up for sharing the video with us. You rock.
You rock, Brian.
All right. So, now let's talk about the latest in the Watson saga. So it came out at the beginning of the week that Deshaun was going to get a 6-game suspension, right? Most people felt perhaps that was a little light. Most people felt he was going to get the hammer, being that it was a female judge, kind of putting this whole thing into perspective. But then the other side of the house that kind of came out, and I think people forgot, and it was brought up by the NFLPA and people representing players, is over the past, you name it, basically owners have been getting let off the hook in situations like this, right? And getting slaps on the wrist. And so it's almost as if everybody wanted to see, Deshaun Watson kind of hung out to dry and, made an example of, but then people said, well, what about Robert Kraft and what he did down in Jacksonville a few seasons ago? Like that made the news and then it was over with. You know what I'm saying? Still some investigation stuff going on to Daniel Snyder and what's going on in Washington and so on and so forth. So I say all that to say, with it being 6 games for, the alleged, sexual assaults and things like that, harassments, yet no convictions. Put that out there. No convictions. There were some cases that were settled out of court, but no convictions. What do you guys think? Just not enough? Hard to process? Let's go around the room. What we feel?
Can I take the lead on this, country?
Go ahead.
Honestly, in my opinion, I feel it's too early to render any verdict.
Too early.
Yeah.
You can't elaborate?
Because this is still America. You're still innocent until proven guilty. And I don't care what the cancel culture is trying to accomplish in this society. This is still America. This is the way our laws are set up. You're still innocent until proven guilty. And just because he settled something out of court doesn't mean he's guilty. Now, I got my own opinions on it, but I'm just looking at it through the blind eyes of justice, if you will. And to me, it's too early. You got to let all of this play out. What's the word for civil matters?
Pat, we don't
Is there a word for different civil matters?
Maybe. I don't even know what. I don't know.
Just go
Well,
with civil. Let's go with civil matters. Okay.
So, all right. So let the civil matters play out. And, I think there's 4 or 5 girls left that won't settle out of court. Let that go. Let that go through the courts. How he's found through the courts is how you should punish him accordingly to league rules.
Oh my God. Who's ringing? That I know. I know.
Bruh.
Not the way I got grilled about 3 weeks ago. Ain't no way.
Look, that face right there on P says I'm guilty.
That's so.
It's definitely me.
See that face?
I apologize,
dude. I don't know if he was guilty or he took a shit in his pants.
Oh,
a little bit of both.
Okay.
Now, you didn't have to go along with that, Patrick.
But anyways, that's where I kind of stand on it. I want it to play out in the courts. When the courts decide if you're guilty or innocent, that's when punishment should be handed down from the league. To me, the league doing their own investigating, getting a special judge to look over all the evidence and to make a ruling, and it sticks. Deshaun Watson isn't batting an eye at 6 games. It's the NFL that's filing an appeal because the NFL is saying, no, this is not enough. Now, I'm not saying he did it. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm just saying let it play out in the courts, and then you can honestly give him a fair punishment because this is what the courts have found. And that's what the courts are for.
Country.
Since he went in that direction, let's just say, play devil's advocate here for a second. So, say that he is guilty of all these charges. He deserves definitely way more than a 6-game sentence. And I think there's more evidence to prove that he is guilty of it. So, I think they definitely should go after Watson a little bit heavier than what they have. A 6-game suspension is nothing. Like P said, for Watson, talking about like his contract, it's nothing. So, do some comparison here. You have a titled sexual predator, if you will, in Deshaun Watson in a 6-game suspension. If that sticks, compared to a player, I can't recollect his name right now, but getting suspended a whole year for gambling. It's two different worlds. Yeah, Calvin Ridley. There you go. And it's just like, bruh, like gambling and then sexual assault. Bruh. Exactly. So it's just like sexual assault and gambling. Like it's two different things. But yet, how is one punishable by, more punishable by the other? But the weight of a sexual predator is way heavier than gambling, in my opinion. So it's just like, give him what he's due. Full year, find the hell out of him, whatever. It's completely wrong. And I agree with P though too. Let the justice system carry it out. That's just my opinions that I'm speaking here right now. So, what are your thoughts, Clyde?
So my thoughts is, you got a couple things, right? So the whole federal conviction thing really kind of like, to me, really put this whole thing into a crazy twist. Like, nobody could really convict him of anything, right? So it's just like, well, what's going on? Because, ultimately we would think that out of 24, like one of them would have hit, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't. So where I'm going with that is, you got to think about this too, going to your point, Country. You take Ridley, to me, that was them finding him for the integrity of the game. Almost, like a Pete Rose situation, right? Like, or you go back to the kid, I forget his name, but the kid that went to Arizona State, the basketball player back in the 90s, he got caught betting on basketball, ruined him, right? So I think they took that approach where you're seeing that without them saying it, but it's clear that they value the integrity of the game more than like the concepts of what's right when it comes to sexual predatorship. Mm-hmm. Now, again, go on the P point, let it play out because we got to see what's happening. And then just making all these settlements outside of court just kind of seems weird, like you're trying to hush people. But we're just people who don't know the whole story. So whatever. But the last piece of that, though, like for me, and I've been struggling with this is, and I'm not going to make it about race, so we're not. But think about in the past. Let's just go Ben Roethlisberger, right? We remember this. I mean, it was like back to back. It was like a couple off seasons back to back that he had a thing that one thing potentially happened in Vegas and another thing happened down in Atlanta and Georgia somewhere. It was in the news for a minute. You know, he came out, said a few things, and then boom, quiet is kept again. Now, 2-24, big number, right? But we've seen players kind of like have these negative clouds around them, and then they don't. Take Kobe Bryant, right? Kobe Bryant had a situation, different sport, but he had a situation in Colorado, lost endorsements. Everything was bad for a while. Boom. Take Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods had, you know, some alleged scandals going on with other women, lost endorsements. Then boom, we're cheering for Tiger again. So it's almost as if in a lot of ways, you know, I guess Deshaun Watson is hoping he gets that same grace. But this story just kept growing. I mean, it was 2, then it was 4, then it was 12, then it was 16. I was like, is it every massage parlor in Houston? Like, what the fuck is going on? And now they bringing in the team itself for potentially covering up stuff. So then they really got hairy for me, like reading that part about, you know, like they were actually going after the Houston organization as basically knowing things and not, you know, reporting things. So, man, I don't know. Right. And then maybe they felt spurned because they were like, well, look, we've been protecting you, dude. Now you want out. Let me just drudge up some of this stuff. So it seemed like there was a lot going on. So at this point, he's been sentenced at 6 games. Let's see what comes of this last couple little, you know, 2 settlements if they happen. And then we're just going to see. He's going to be booed. He's going to be, you know, it's going to be picket fences around where he's playing. It's going to be a lot of ugly things. Houston was trying to basically, I think what week did they play? Does Cleveland go to Houston? But they were trying to basically make sure he was suspended for that game so he didn't have to, you know, bring more negativity. So it's a wild thing. It's far from over is all I can say. But all I would say is just remember what happened to Ben Roethlisberger. Just remember what happened to Kobe Bryant. This is still the early onset of this because it's not over. But who knows? Maybe he will get that same grace. But yeah, that's the Watson latest. So moving on. Let's talk about this damn Dolphins dumpster fire.
Hey, I just looked it up. Browns play the Texans December 4th.
December 4th. What week is that? I mean, 6 weeks. He should be back. Well back.
Yeah, he's well back for that one.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th week.
You using fingers and toes?
I had to.
Nice. You're doing well. Okay. So this Dolphins dumpster fire. I mean, Stephen Ross suspended. Now, how many? He got 6 weeks too, right? Or how many games he get? My bad. Was it 3? 6?
I thought it was 6.
Okay.
I might be mistaken though.
But Stephen Ross is suspended. Miami losing draft picks this year and next year, or first this coming year. Yikes. Right. And then the label, just specifically the label, is unprecedented tampering when it came to Sean Payton and Tom Brady. Now we got to remember, before I pass it around the room, where we started earlier this season, this offseason, when we talked about Brian Flores, yours truly. I wrote a little article. Check that article out. But you got to wonder, you know, what was the inside with Brian Flores and what he knew versus what he was pressured to do, which possibly made Stephen Ross make a decision about his fate as coach because he was not on board with things. And then potentially it was something that he knew that he was then going to start to slowly reveal, because we haven't heard much from Brian Flores in a while. But he had to know about this stuff because this stuff happened on his watch. So, holy shit, Tom Brady's retired, maybe, right? And then these dudes are basically trying to I don't know how they were thinking about it, but they were trying to pursue Tom Brady. Apparently, they wanted him bad. Maybe they were breaking rules because he was clearly still a buck, sort of like how we have with Andrew Luck. If he ever decided to do whatever, I think we would have first. He's still a part of the Colts organization.
Absolutely.
So let's take it from that approach. And then the Sean Payton thing, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they laid all the cards out and didn't consider like the true hiring practices. It's a lot to go along with that. But yeah, 6 weeks and 1.5 million fine. Thank you, Robbie. So last time we started with P Country. The Dolphins dumpster fire. What do you feel about this?
I mean, I think they just said fuck Tua altogether. I mean, come on. I mean, they literally hate this kid, or what it makes it seem like anyway.
What?
But I mean, no. I mean, you're gonna have to give me some leeway here. All that went down, when all my stuff happened with my family and everything. But
right.
Just from what I gathered, it's just like, come on, dude. Like, with what you're doing was wrong. Tampering. I mean, come on. I mean, mobsters go away for this type of shit.
Tampering and tanking.
So purposely tanking.
Yeah, purposely, like, the integrity game is on the line here. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. But it was just, that's what I mean. It's just like, what you're doing. You're going to get caught. So it's just like, and Brady, even though he's, how this panel feels, how he is, he's not going to go that far. Especially knowing at the time that he was probably going to retire. And he didn't want to play for nobody else. But I mean, that explains like the rumor he was going to Miami though before he went to the Bucs.
Yeah,
if y'all remember that, because he said he was going to Florida, but then and Tua wasn't performing all that well, so it was just like, is he really going to Miami? So that makes sense now.
Yeah, I mean, it says here that the Dolphins held impermissible communications with both Brady and Peyton at the same time, trying to create, like this super sell between them. Like, hey, this is what we're looking to do. We want both of you on board, because they both had announced their retirement. So let me coax you out of retirement and promise you sunny beaches and, the Miami beautiful weather and whatever it may have you. But P, where you at on this? Is one worse than the other? Is the tampering versus the tanking? Like, how do you feel?
Actually, before P starts, if you don't mind, P, I'm sorry.
Just
a quick question for the panel. So does it sound like, if that's the case, then from what I just heard, Clyde, does it sound like Miami probably jumped the gun?
I don't think they jumped the gun. I think what Miami did was, so I guess I'm going to just assume, I mean, Zach Kiefer's the one to ask this, but like how he was mentioning last night that Andrew Luck filed his paperwork, right?
Correct.
Now, once that goes to the NFL, because apparently Brady and Peyton did that, at that point, all negotiations for future whatever are null and void. So it seems as if they were trying to like backdoor the system and say, do you really want to retire? Because if you don't, I'll offer you this. So it wasn't.
I got you.
It wasn't like an open source for it'd be one thing if they were both free agents and everybody had an opportunity. Okay. They kind of just like, well, it seems like they were trying to coax them out of it. I don't know how they would have got away with it had they both said yes, because I still think this would have ultimately came to a head at some point. But I don't know what their plan was. But I guess they seen a perfect combination between player and coach, and they wanted it.
I mean, it makes sense.
And Sean Payton turned them down before, right? Wasn't Sean Payton potentially a Dolphins coach when he took the Saints job way back when, leaving the Cowboys? But I felt like he didn't believe in the shoulder. Yeah, he didn't believe in the shoulder of oh shit, what am I trying to say?
Tannehill. Was it Tannehill back then?
No, it was Drew Brees, because remember Drew Brees was supposed to go down and end up there, and it didn't work out. Saban took the job, but I feel like Sean Payton and then Drew Brees came back together to New Orleans. I feel like they were all part of that.
That sounds really familiar.
It does sound familiar, yeah.
Somebody on the panel quote Clyde if he's, or not quote me, but tell me if Clyde is wrong or right here. I could be a bumbling idiot, but I feel like that happened way back when. Bam. Tyler, that's what. That's why. Tyler, that's why I fuck.
Hey, this is why we got the best friends right here in the world on this panel right here.
Appreciate you, dog. I knew I wasn't a nutball, but okay. My bad, Big P. Put your
And
thoughts in.
Ken even says, "Nope, you're right."
That's my guy. Come on,
It-
Ken.
Look, this dude's head's getting bigger and bigger by the minute. Y'all quit.
I mean,
Somebody tell him he's wrong.
by the end of the show, it's gonna be bigger in your head. Just
Hey,
saying.
Oh,
that's
easy
huge.
boy. It's easy boy. Easy killers. Where you at, Pete? Come on.
Yeah, where you
My
at,
thing is, I don't know a lot of the inner workings of these two deals. I'm just catching pieces here and there. But I will say that I have a strong belief that the NFL makes the players protect the shield. They make fans protect the shield. If you're a fan and you're drunk at a game, you can get kicked out and not let back in to protect that shield. If you're a player and you do something, that puts a negative light on the image of that shield, they can kick you out of the league, they can suspend you, they can fine you, or all three. And they do it to protect that shield. When an owner screws up, gets caught for drunk driving, or massage parlors, or whatever the hell else,
Nice.
they get suspended, they get fined.
Probably a little talking to HR, and then
So with them bringing down these sentences, and a 6-game suspension, 1.5 million isn't nothing to that owner. That owner's going to go on his yacht and go sailing for 6 Sundays in a row. He don't give a shit. 1.5 million isn't even a teardrop in the ocean for that dude. That doesn't mean nothing. Now losing draft picks multiple years, that's huge. That makes a statement.
that tickles a little bit.
Yeah, that hurts. So I was, since I don't know the inner workings of, what exactly happened, when it happened, and all that, and the NFL took away those draft picks, I was happy to see that, because to me, that's them really trying to protect the shield. Now, the next thing the NFL, and I know this is a little off topic, but the next thing the NFL needs to do to protect the shield is get fucking refs in there that call the games right.
Oh, Pete throwing that
Now,
jab.
yeah, I'm throwing it, and I'm circling around with the left, because some of these bullshit calls that these refs have been making are absolutely asinine.
It's not even
And
the season yet. He's already getting pissed.
It's not even my team that it's happening to, and it ticks me off to no end. You want to kick fans out of stadiums because they got drunk and got loud. You want to fine and take away draft picks because owners did this.
Why are you going to call me out like that?
What about the refs? What are you going to start doing to the refs? When am I going to see fines and suspensions on refs for making blatant miscalls? Now, look, I understand, refereeing is a tough job, and shit happens really, really fast. I get that. But when it's so blatant, like that old dude that bumped into that Chicago or the Steelers players last year.
Yep. Bears, I think.
Was it Bears or Steelers?
Cassius Marsh.
Bears in. Whatever happened to that dude? It was so blatant and on video. I mean, come on.
Walked away from it.
That dude has no business ever reffing another game, in my opinion.
Fair.
He's dirty, and he's going to keep doing dirty shit. If you fine him or suspend him, he's still going to do dirty shit. Get him out of this league. Protect that damn shield. If you want everybody else to protect the shield, then you need to start making those refs protect this damn shield.
Slightly off topic, but going back to that, I'll tell you probably the worst time, and this is even beyond like all of the racial things that's come up in the 70-something odd years of the NFL. So we're not even talking about that. But probably the worst time for the NFL when they were, no kidding, protecting the shield was the whole concussion era and how those players were coming back to them, clearly having issues. And the NFL was trying to hush it because they understood how much money came from the game. It goes back to us, just being human beings. You can take it all the way back to the Roman era, like being in the Coliseum watching gladiators fight. Like we love to see, competition that brings pain and punishment. And I guess the NFL seen it at that time as like, yeah, it's part of the game. It's a contact sport. Let's hush hush. And we all know how famous the Will Smith movie is, Concussion, where he's playing the doctor that was definitely doing the research, and we seen what they put him through. So that was an ugly time of protecting the Shield, because they knew what they had, the information, they had the data, and they were still like, nah, we trying to make this money. So you're right. Like they're going to protect the Shield at all costs, even when it's somewhat heinous. And it was heinous to do those to the players. And we had 4, 5, 6 very notable veteran Hall of Fame players end up killing themselves. Like it's just terrible to think about. So yeah, but anyway, the Dolphins dumpster fire. You can read it pretty much anywhere you follow ESPN, NFL Network. It hit everywhere. CNN, sports, everywhere you can find it. If you don't know what's going on with them, check it out. It's a pretty wild story. So yeah, moving on again. All right, P, and after this, I'm gonna pass it to you because I gotta get ready to pack my son up. We got an appointment, but the wide receivers have the last laugh, and the reason why this is a topic I wanted to bring to light, because we talked about this early in the offseason. We were like, hey, we feel like these players are, just throwing random numbers to their agents and saying, hey, I want this, I want this, I want this, and we gave our opinions on how we feel about, players. Are they being greedy? Are they not being team players? Are they, only thinking about themselves, so on and so forth? But seemingly, after Christian Kirk reset the wide receiver market, and I'm pretty sure there was a lot of premium receivers all across the league that was like, wait, who? Like, no. Look at the work I didn't put in this kid. No shade to Christian Kirk, but nah. So we seen the trade that became Tyreek Hill. We seen, Devontae Adams go to Oakland and break the bank. And then we started to see other guys say, well, you know what? I'm going to hold out. So A.J. Brown held out. Scary Terry held out. DK Metcalf held out. Debo held out. And with the exception of A.J. Brown, all of those teams brought their guy back. Now, A.J. Brown will end up getting traded to Philly. And basically he's been tweeting ever since, throwing little jabs, saying like everybody feels like it was me, but you clearly see this, that, and the other, and everybody else paid their guy except for them. So how did they really value me? Blah, 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 blah. He basically said they all basically got the same amount of money, but for whatever reason, Tennessee thought he was being unfair, this, that, and the other. So their strength in numbers, even if it's minimal numbers, five receivers. So what do we think about this? Is this the new way forward? Will it be linebackers next, cornerbacks next? Like, who will come together and be like, no, we want this amount, pay us?
Can I ask a question, just a little off topic? Do you think A.J. Brown will be the same with Jalen Hurts in Philly?
I think he'll be better.
You think he'll be better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, you got to think, bro, like, he is a number 1 receiver that was a number 2 guy in a run heavy offense, which then put him on the stage as the front side receiver. Play action, turn my back to the backside, look for AJ first. If he's not there, then look elsewhere. He's going to an offense that's ran by Nick Sirianni, which we are very familiar with. Sure, they're going to try to run the ball. They don't have a stud in their backfield at the moment, but they have a concept behind, read, what is it? Why can't I think? Read option type plays with Jalen Hurts being mobile, and it gives more creativity to the receiver. It's going to be multiple double move routes, multiple combination routes. So I think he's going to be better because he's not relying on play action to just make him who he is.
I was kind of thinking the same too, because with Jalen's legs, he's going to extend those plays. He's going to give those receivers just a little bit more time to open up, and he can throw a pretty damn good ball on the run.
Absolutely. And so I think that, like, to me, his fit is better than him staying. Now, other teams, I think I think if we're looking at all 4 receivers, I think the one is going to be hit the most, hurt the most. It's probably going to be DK because their quarterback situation is helter skelter. He no longer has a surefire Hall of Famer in Russell.
Wilson. Yeah,
And people might say, well, what about Debo, being now that he's going to basically a rookie, even though Trey Lance is in his second year? But Trey Lance is a playmaker. And, oh, by the way, like I was saying, Debo would also come out and say, well, you know what? I never really said these things or that thing based on what I wanted to do. Now, maybe that's just the money talking and he's still on the high. But like I said, if I'm paying you X amount of dollars and I know what kind of football player you are, you're not going to tell me, yeah, I don't want to get any handoffs. Oh, you getting handoffs. If I just gave you 70 million with X amount guaranteed, oh, you going to come out the backfield, bro. We running 28 tosses.
You're going to go wash my damn car if that's what I tell you to do.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to
say that much.
I'm not going to say that. But if it's football related on the field, on offense,
I'll put my car on the field.
Stop it.
All right, I'll stop it.
Being a football player is not indentured servitude, okay? But what I'm saying is you don't get to call the shots 1,000%. You're still a coach. There's still an OC. That another, but like this is my last.
I agree with you though, Clyde. Absolutely.
This is definitely my last part before I go, and I'm gonna let you guys take it. But they stuck together, right? They stood together, and they all basically got paid. I mean, the wide receivers did it, the QBs have done it. I mean, is this the new way? And it just seemed like sometimes they get lucky and things line up where it's like, oh, I'm not here alone. I feel like if AJ Brown would have been alone, maybe this doesn't happen. Right? Debo would have been alone. Maybe this doesn't happen. Now, Devontae Adams, different type of beast. Maybe he still kind of is successful with what he wants, but it's strength in numbers. And I just feel like players who are in the same position groups going forward, have they defined this as this is the way we get what we want? Let me call you, text you. We say, okay, boom, this is what I'm going to tell my agent. Okay, boom, you say this to your agent. Okay, boom, before you know it, 6 receivers in a matter of 6 minutes all saying the same thing, and now GMs and owners are like, what the fuck's going on?
Now, so, at any other time that you've paid attention to football, have you ever seen a position either band together or do something at the same time like this wide receiver group has?
I don't think I could say it in the same.
I can't say I haven't either.
Oh, I think they look forward to, like, I remember when Todd Gurley got paid about 4 years ago, and everybody's like, oh, okay, that's the new bar for running back money. So when it's my turn, this is what I want. So Christian McCaffrey would get that money, and I think it was maybe 1 or 2. Derrick Henry kind of had that number as a number, but that wasn't the same offseason. You know what I'm saying? Like one man had to jump out there first and set that bar for that moment. I mean, we see
just
it
like the quarterbacks do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's like I'm the highest paid quarterback, and then next year somebody tops that. Then the following year somebody else is topping that, but not 5 or 6 of them at the same time.
Think about this shit. This is surreal, right? Andrew Luck set the quarterback bar, and let's call it 14 or 15 with I can't remember what the guarantee was, but his annual salary was like 28 million. And everybody was like, whoa, oh my God, 50 now? Hey, Ryan, 50
in a matter of 7 years.
Andrew's deal was 126.7 million.
Right. And it came out. And again, these guarantees, I'm like, you take Watson, the entire shit's guaranteed. Unheard of. But I'm saying, like, you take what that was, and I remember us feeling like, damn, we owe Andrew 28 million every season. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? Salary cap has gone up, but we're talking about double and some. Rodgers is getting 50. You know, Mahomes averages 45 over 10 years. 10 years, we're gonna break this man off 45 million. What the fuck? Like, it's just crazy. And so I kind of understand the receivers. I'm not going to say I agree with what they 100%, but I understand them. They like, well, what the fuck? Like, if they can get 50 million, we can't ask for, 30. And that's what, Devontae Adams got, roughly 30. These other boys are getting somewhere in the high 20s. And they still getting options to still get that second contract. So these agents are working their ass off now. making it work for him. And that new CBA deal from a few years ago is definitely supporting this. We've seen it in the NBA too, where the NBA guys, LeBrons and the CP3s, set themselves up to get paid right now at their ages of 38 and shit. So it seems like the sports world is being turned upside down, and the owners are now like, well, yeah, we want to win and we want to have the glory, and we used to have all the money, but shit, we got to open up this pocketbook a little bit, because these players are now having a voice. So it's like, I agree with it, but it's also kind of scary, because you never know when the shit's going to be you. Like, we feared Kenny Moore. I'm not going to speak too early, but it seems like Kenny Moore's happy. I'm going to just keep that quiet. But prior to, training camp, I'm like, well, shit, we about to have a situation. Like, not Kenny. And everybody was already like ready to burn the house down. Like, oh God, Kenny's selfish. Oh my God, he was nobody before we got him. And that's what happens as fans. We get mad like it's our money. It's not our money. But we don't also want our team to be destroyed because some player wants this and it throws off the chemistry and everything. So it's a lot to think about.
I back Kenny up on this one though.
I still blame his agent.
He just came out and said he thinks he deserves more.
That's really what he said.
Yeah, he didn't say, hey, I'm holding out until I get more. He just said, I deserve more. True. I mean, how many times you sit at your job and think, I don't get paid enough for this shit?
True.
Every day.
You see what I'm saying? So in Kenny's defense, he didn't hold out nothing. He kind of set out in OTAs, but they're voluntary. So he didn't even have to be there, but he was still there. Now he didn't work out. He didn't run the plays or anything like that, but he was still there. He didn't hold out at camp. He didn't hold out in mini camp. He's out. You've seen what we played today. He's still out there, having a blast with the fans. I'm sitting like this with him at camp, and he's smiling, laughing with all the fans. I even told you about, a lady wanted him to pick up the kid, and he did. And then he started walking down the line, signing stuff, holding this lady's kid, having a good time. That's the Kenny Moore we know. That's the Kenny Moore we love. And, to back him up, he didn't say, I'm not doing nothing until I get paid more. He just said, I deserve more.
Yeah, because I don't like my title as nickel corner. I'm more than that, respectfully. So we only looked at him as a slot corner, I think, and we knew how he got paid as a slot corner. And I think our minds just stuck with slot corner. But at the end of the day, he's like, yeah, but look how I've played, and look where I've been all across the field. And let's talk about this in a different light. And us as fans, sometimes we can't see that. And so I respect Kenny, like you said, great point, Pat, because he's still out there. And maybe this is something that he's talked about with Ballard, and he was like, hey, I'm going to go play my ass off this year. And perhaps because Chris is Chris, will open these doors.
Yeah, absolutely. And after this year, he's actually eligible for an extension. So go out there, play your ass off, and then knock on Chris's door and say, what you got for me, boss? Look what, and then get it going. Make that money. And if you ask me, Kenny does deserve more money on a new contract. Now I'm old school. When you shake a man's hand, that's it.
Well, we know that, Pat. I've heard plenty of your personal stories.
I mean, you're at the Gettysburg. You're at the Gettysburg Address, so
I'm sorry. Oh, you sorry.
And on that note, I gotta leave, boys. Y'all keep it rolling. Is it time to bang that? We getting into the poster giveaway?
Yeah, especially since you got to get off.
All right, well, cool. So good luck to the person that wins tonight. If you take my poster, Clyde is not gonna be happy with you going forward.
You know how we feel about our talent on this show. We keep our talent happy. That's all that matters to us.
Now you're gonna get him asking for more money.
Hey, anybody that got a direct line to HR is going to end up getting it anyway. So,
bye, you asshole.
This snitch will fucking blast us out in a heartbeat. Oh, did you hear what Patrick said today?
I'm out of here.
I love you, Clyde. I hope you hear it. But anyways, we got the posters.
Yes, sir.
And like we talked about last night, I was able to pick up a few more at camp. I got 4 more. So originally the contest was we was giving away 3. Well, we got 4 more. So now we're going to give away 7. Now, since we are giving so many away, I went ahead and drawed the names earlier today, knowing we was on a tight schedule. And the winners are Tyler Bowman,
Woo!
Robbie Owen,
Oh, Robbie was on the show a minute ago. Oh, there he is right there.
Daniel Imer, Imer. Did I say that right, country?
I think so. Congratulations, buddy.
CT Henderson,
Congratulations, CT.
Ariel Forrell, Ferrer.
Sounds close enough to me.
I know he follows me personally, so I'll reach out to him. Zach Strom and Jeremy Hampton.
Congratulations,
Those were
guys.
the names on the list from the Will Spinney thing. So congratulations. If you're watching this or you see that your name's called, message Anvil Group on Facebook Messenger. You contact us, give us name and address, and we'll get them sent out to you as soon as possible. Congratulations to everybody.
Yeah, those posters are one of a kind. So congratulations, guys, again. Look at those.
Woo.
Those things are nice.
They are pretty badass. Now, I wish I had time to get somebody to sign each and every one of these for you guys. But Camp moves fast. Those guys move fast down the line when they're signing things. So we had a bunch of other stuff going on that I couldn't stand there with 22 posters and have them sign each one. I wish I could, but I can't.
So when you just pay all the people that's standing in line, like, hey, hold this, get them to sign it for me. I'll give you $1.
I don't think $1's gonna do it. Country, is there anything else you want to bring up tonight? I know we're going to probably shut it down just a tad bit early if you don't have nothing else.
I'm just going to go back to our previous topic real quick with the wide receiver situation. I mean, I'm sure our whole panel ain't here. I'm sure our whole panel can, agree to disagree or maybe even agree altogether. But these players, people just got to understand, even though they're making absurd amounts of money to us average Joes right now, to them, they're not. You just got to respect where their mindset is and how they feel. This game is changing. The players are getting bigger. The players are getting stronger. The players are getting faster. The tension is getting tighter. What I mean by that is just with social media, the exposure, the stress that they're constantly under, the watchful eye that they're constantly under. It's a lot. It's a lot. And they want to perform. They want to please us as fans. They want to please the organizations that they play for. But they seem like as time goes forward, it's just not enough. And I gotta respectfully accept that because they got to go out there and get what they think they're owed. Now, some contracts might be more absurd than others, yeah. But the way it is going to be, people are going to get paid more and more and more as the league continues to grow. I mean, eventually, Patrick Mahomes' contract is not going to be, it's going to be an average contract eventually. When? I don't know. But you just got to understand, these players are just, from what I've seen on that field at training camp, people used to say a clean hit from an NFL linebacker was the same as a car wreck going 20 mile an hour. I think today you can increase that to at least 30 mile an hour now. These players,
I would say at least, yeah.
These players are hitting harder than ever, and their health is on the line. Their lives are on the line. So they need to make sure that their legacies continue and their lives and families are taken care of. And people just got to understand that. Even though, yeah, 45, 60 million a year is a lot of money. It really is. But to them, it may not be worth that because they're out there putting their body on the line. We're not. We're just sitting there watching them getting drunk all day.
Yep. I
So,
wish they paid soldiers that much.
I mean, I
put my body on the line and I'm broke. I'm rode hard, put away wet, son.
Hey, I absolutely agree with that too. The soldiers definitely get paid more.
No, that's actually that's very, very valid point. You know, we just see dollar signs. We don't see a lot of stuff that goes into getting those dollar signs.
I mean, it's very. I mean, regardless of the sport, the business part is extremely stressful. Just from hearing like, you think like bringing up the Kenny situation again. Us just hearing it stresses us out. What do you think? Someone like Kenny or all these other wide receivers, how do you think they feel? They're under a lot of pressure. It's just like, I'm not getting paid what I'm owed. I need to get paid what I'm owed. They're getting frustrated. They're getting all types of different emotions going on. But we just don't understand what's going on behind closed doors. And we just got to respect, what they feel and go and just move on. It's a lot of money, a ridiculous lot of money, but to them, it's not.
Yeah, but their entire lives are consumed by this sport.
In the business that comes with it.
Yeah, even in the off season, yeah, they get some downtime just like everybody else. But even in that downtime, they're still hitting the gym. Mm-hmm. They're still hitting the treadmill. They're still eating properly. They're still, watching their P's and Q's out in public because, like you said, there's an eye everywhere watching everybody. Mm-hmm. They don't live normal lives like we do. I mean, we get hungry when we go eat a piece of cheesecake or 2 pieces. We do. And there's no consequences to it except for getting fat. Mm-hmm. Them guys, they eat a couple pieces of cheesecake. They're going to slow down. You slow down, you lose shitloads of money.
Lost opportunity and everything else.
And there's a reason only so many people can actually live that life. Mm-hmm. These guys have dedicated their lives to this sport, to getting paid. Let them get paid.
And when you say dedicate their lives, Big P, it's just when he says dedicate their lives, they could go out here in training camp tomorrow. Heaven forbid, please, heaven forbid. But they can go out here in training camp tomorrow and lower their head wrong, get their neck snapped, and die.
Yep. Or you get that knee twisted, and it could be season injury and ending, or it could be career ending.
Or it could be
any one play can create that. And a lot of these people don't have that big guaranteed money.
No.
So they get hurt, they get cut, they don't get paid no more.
And some of them, and some of them, some do and some don't. You're seeing a lot more do it now, but some don't go back and finish their college degrees after they get drafted. So they have nothing to fall back on. So they need to make sure that they're set where they can make the right endorsements or the right moves in retirement or even during their career where they're set for life. That's just what a lot of people that's just what people need to understand. Yeah, it's a ridiculous lot of money, but you got to think of the life and the society that we're in now, the intensity of the game, and the scrutiny and the pressure that these players are under. Just, food for thought for everybody tonight on that topic.
Good food to chew on for sure.
Well, speaking of food, I'm getting hungry, Big P. So you want to get into the final thoughts tonight?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Man, I'm still reeling on that interview we had with Zach Kiefer last night.
Oh man,
that was. I mean, if you talk about a Colts insider that talks to the organization day in and day out, from Irsay all the way down to the coaches, to the players, and whoever else they want to talk to, they get the inside scoop. And he said, and sat down and had a great conversation with us, man.
He did too.
I would love to continue having him on and picking his brain and, looking through the football field through his lens that he looks through things, man. Dude's an amazing writer. Put on one hell of a podcast. If you have not listened to his 6-part series on the rise and fall of Andrew Luck, you need to go listen to it. It is absolutely masterful.
And sadly, he didn't even want to do it, but he knocked it out of the park. Can you believe that?
Yeah. And it was the first time he ever wrote a script like that. That to me is amazing.
Awesome. That's a hidden gift he didn't know he had.
Yeah, so I'm still reeling on that. So my final thoughts are definitely going to say another big thank you to Zach Kiefer for that.
Oh, absolutely. And my final thoughts of the night is just rolling off a Big P. It was exciting to have Zach Kiefer here this week. It was really great to get to sit back and talk to him. And I know a lot of people out there are still listening to this OBJ stuff. I mean, you could get on our show, share our show, say, hey, I watched the Anvil. They had Zach Kiefer on there, one of the #1 Colts insiders. He confirmed from his sources that OBJ is not coming here.
That there's no chatter whatsoever about it.
The front office is not talking at all.
Whoever made that original post only did it to get clicks.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's all they did. They did it just to get clicks.
So if you're all still out there and you're hearing this and you hear people talking about, OBJ still coming to Indy, the talks are still heating up, tell them to go watch our show. Zach Kiefer was on there, the #1 Colts insider we know of, very reliable, probably the most reliable source out there. OBJ is not coming to Indianapolis, and that's my final thoughts.
Cool. Well, I don't have the soundboard that Clyde does to end the show, but how about we play that Kenny clip one more time to end the show?
One more time.
Yeah.
He's probably so confused.
What's up? He's right here by me playing a video game. This is Kenny. Yeah. I'm good, you? Yeah, he's behaving. We're about to take a picture. You need to speak to him? Living his best life. Yes, sir. Take care.
That's so awesome, dude.
Great. The classic Kenny, man. I love it.
We have such a stand-up group of guys, man. I mean, from Kenny to DeForest to Yannick to Matt Ryan. I mean, man, we got such a great group of guys, and I'm so glad to call myself a fan. I'm just so honored to call myself a fan of the Indianapolis Colts. So honored to do it.
Yes, sir.
But with that being said, Big P, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Everybody, y'all stay safe out there. No impaired driving. Stay blessed. Stay pretty. And remember, go Colts.
Go Colts.